In this sample program, I'm going to show you some information about different ways on how to error check text box entries to ensure that they are numeric, and also in this case I'll show you how to check that they're positive. So what's going to happen here is the user is going to enter a number in the text box, and then you'll get when you click on the check number box, it'll display down here your number plus 1 is and the result. So it looks like this. Okay. Sorry. Alright, so I'm going to put in 12, and it'll say your number incremented by 1 is 13. Alright, so if we look at the code, I've got two variables, double number 1. I'm going to take the information from the text box, I'm going to store it, convert it to a double and store it in this variable. Then I'm going to add 1 to it and store it in this variable, and then this is what's going to go into the label. Alright, so I don't have any error checking going on there, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use an if statement to error check. So here I still have my same code, but around it I used an if statement to error check it. The first thing I'm going to do is use the isNumeric function to check the contents of the text box, but I also want to check if it's greater than 0. So this is a great use of and also. If this is true, it will actually go ahead and check the second part of the Boolean expression. So if it is numeric, it will convert it and check to see if it's greater than 0. If it's not numeric, this will be false and it'll never come over here, which is good because if it's not numeric, this will actually cause an exception to happen. So, and then all my code goes inside the if, and the else is an error message box. So let me show you how it runs. Right, I'm going to put in 12. Check the number, that works good. I'm going to take this out, and your entry needs to be numeric and positive. I'm going to put this in, and your entry needs to be numeric and positive. I didn't clear out my label, but you'll see that the error checking is working. If I only use and here instead of and also, and I just leave that blank, see, I'll actually get an unhandled exception because it was not numeric, so this is false, and it tries to evaluate this part of the expression, which gives us a problem. So that's one way to error check. Here I've actually used a Trycatch. So in my try, I'm just going to do my conversion to a double, and if that works, it means it's numeric. If it doesn't work, it'll go into my catch and say my entry needs to be numeric. But if it does work, it'll go in and check to see if it's greater than 0. If it is, it'll put the message in the label box, and if it's not, it'll display a message. You'll notice I have two different messages here. One is your entry needs to be positive, and one it needs to be numeric. So here, if I don't enter anything, right, it says it needs to be numeric. If I enter a negative value, it'll say your entry needs to be positive, and if I enter a positive value, it will work. In this last example, I'm using a nested if statement, but I'm using a TryParse. So this will take the value from the text box. If it can convert it to a double, it will do that and store the result here. Then it'll increment this variable or double number by 1 and store it here. And then it'll go in, and if it's positive, it'll put the information in your label. If it's not, you'll get a message box. If the TryParse is not successful, let's say there's a blank space, it'll come down here and display the last message box. So there's a few different options, and you can choose whatever you prefer.